I borrowed more than 2K from my parents without them knowing. 20 years ago when I was a kid, my parents set up a checking account for me and linked it with theirs. They never unlinked it. Jump to Wednesday, when my company announced there was a computer error and pay would be delayed at least a week. I live paycheck to paycheck and have my bills on autopay, so I panicked. Rent is due and I won't have the money if I don't get paid on time. For background, my parents are wealthy. Not super, 1% wealthy, but multimillionaires with a house paid off in the Boston metro area wealthy. So I used the wire transfer feature on our linked accounts and sent myself 2.5K, just enough to cover rent and utilities. To them, it's an amount so small they won't notice it missing. But to me it's the line between shelter and homelessness. And I'll wire back the money as soon as I get paid. I feel a little guilty, but if I outright asked for money they'd act like I killed their dog, and they can afford to miss a few grand for a week. ETA, to answer some questions and comments, like, why don't you just talk to them? Or, you're gonna lose their trust, my family relationships are incredibly dysfunctional. I was diagnosed with ADHD as a kid, and my parents were told I would eventually grow out of it and work everything out. When I was retested and diagnosed with what was then Asperger's syndrome as a teen, and they were told my dysfunction was who I was as a person, they spent more time arguing with the evaluator and my psychiatrist than working on what supports and other things I would need. Both times I was tested I came with a genius IQ, and they've set their expectations for that. In 10 plus years they've never accepted that I have a disorder that will cause me problems my whole life. Every problem I've had since I was a child has been met with, how could you let this happen? You're smarter than that. And I'm tired of it. They've never trusted me. When I was a kid, I would forget to track homework assignments. Oh, DHD is a bitch, and that was lying. There is no trust to break.